Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes, I
Could
hear
be a
you.
little louder, maybe.
Good. As long as you hear me. Okay, good. Mitzvah ayin aleph. HaMitzvah achas v'shivim. Here's a slight problem because normally the Ram talks in the plural. He shnitztavinu shemi shechoto. In here, some of the Kisvei Yad say mi he shetziva mi shechoto. That the tzivui, the commandment, is not on Bnei Yisrael, but it's on the peculiar individual. So the interesting, this you'll in Kapach, that's correct, okay. But in Ksav Oxford, it's Shinetz Tabina like everything else, okay? And I was told by the experts that contrary to Kapach's opinion, Oxford is a much more reliable Ksav Yad. But let's assume that it's reliable Kapach. And he says that the pshat is because the chiyuv of the korban, let's say here we're talking about Rosh Hashanah, is on the Chayte himself and Ema Mashkenoisai. So since the Ema Mashkenoisai, it's he should see what's on him as opposed to other people. The problem with that is, let's accept everything he says. The Mishnah Eichin, Perek Hey, Mishnah Vov, says Chai vechatos v'ashomos Ema Mashkenoisai. So you would expect it. The reason is, according to Kapach, because they're mechuyev, has nothing to do with us. The Rambam in Pirush Mishnayos says, "Hatam shema mashkin chai vechatos v'ashom b'bnei shehem atzmam mizdalzim loviyim," because they're going to bring them. Lefi shehem miskapalehem ad she'akrivum. But it's not because there's a less of a chiyuv on us or more of a chiyuv on us, but it's because they're going to do it anyway. So it's difficult to imagine that Ema Mashkin is a reason to assume that the tzivui is on the person who brings the korban as opposed to others. So I'm not very impressed with this. And the Rambam also in Ma'aseh Korbanos seems to say the same thing as the previous Mishnayos. In Perek Yudal Ma'aseh Korbanos Alcha Yud Zayin, Avol Chai v'chatoyes Bashomos Ema Mashkenoison. Hoil ve'em muk ve'kapora ein choshishin lohem shem yivshu v'yishu korbanos. It's not because that the chiyuv is on them and not on us. It's because there's no chashash that they'll be posheya. So I don't know. Maybe it's a proper gisa, but I don't think the mashkin is an explanation for it. Now it says. Mi shechoto chatoyim yeduim. That's the way it is in Ibn Tibin, and in Ayin Beis it says chatoyim yuchodim. It's a little bit odd because the Arabic is the same in both of them. Kapach interprets it as misuyomim, okay, specific types of avelis. Whatever you like to translate it, you should translate it in korban oil v'yered and in osham the same way. That's what I would assume, the same word. Okay, now this will be important. Chatoim yeduim sheyakriv korban osham. So v'yichupaloi, we'll get to that in a minute, Hashem. V'yichupaloi v'zeho nikla osham vadai. So he's defining out that the mitzvah from osham vadai is a combination of the fact that he has to be a korban osham, and it's chatoim yeduim, chatoim misuyomim. Now, this, first of all, that it's bichupaloi, is all these korbanos, the whole list, the Ram happens to mention it over here, but the whole list of korbanos, of a samach tes of chatas kavua, ayin, oshem tolui, ayin aleph, oshem vadai, and ayin beis korban olav. The Ram clearly says in the mitzvah of ayin gimel, the mitzvah of vidui, v'da shafilu achatoim shechayov maleim elu aminim akorbanos and niskorim, which I assume is some samach test ayin beis, she'oma yis'ale mi shehikrivom niskape alor. So it seems that the kapora is really part of the korban. In the Ram seems to say it's even part of the mitzvah. The mitzvah is to makiv a korban, to be miskape. And I assume that a person who does it, it's not a shul l'shma, because that's the mitzvah. Now, so we're defining again, okay, this avelis musuyamim, okay, avelis musuyamim, and there's a min korban called osher. So the question is l'chere you need this? It's not really the question, l'chere you need this. Because what's the difference between oshem tolui and oshem vadai if the keveya of the mini korbanos is just the korban itself? Because the korban, the oshem vadai and tolui is the same korban. And the Rambam in Shiur Yudalit says the following: Ukfa yodato, shemini akorban yischalfu bischalif avonos. Okay, so you could interpret that the Rambam is telling you a Lakuta from Lakuti DSMS that it happens to be like that. If you interpret like that, I think we're missing something over here, and why the Rambam goes out of his way to say Chatoim Yeduim over here, and it's different than the Chatoim in Oshem Tolui, and different than the Chatoim Korban Olav Yored. So I assume that he's trying, because he says over she's chayv aleim korban ahu lefi sheyesh min avonis mi she's chayv aleim chatas kavua mehem mi she's chayv aleim oshem vadei mi she's chayv aleim oshem tolui. So what's the difference between oshem vadei and oshem tolui? His chalif avonis. Ulchein lo nimna chatas im oshem aval nimna chiyuv chatas kavua mitzvah v'chiyuv oshem vadei mitzvah. So that's what I think, that the avonis musuyomim is somehow there's a relationship, and it's not the min korban, which the Rambam is calling the mitzvah, is not solely defined by what it looks like or what group you put it into, but it's also a function of the Aveira, which is Mechayev. And that's what the Ram says, Aveira is Chatoim Yeduim, or Chatoim Misuyamim. Now, and that's why you look in Mitzvah in Aleph, he should see Misha Chot Chatoim Yeduim Shiakul Korban Oshem. Here B'Chuplo, as we said over here, and that's what he goes out of his way. V'Chatoim she'is chayev aleim ze akorban heima mi'ilo v'agzeilo ubo ashiv charufa v'nishbal hasheker al shvuas epikodin. The Rambam is not stam telling you Yediyas L'Kuti Yediyas Emes. And this is not the details of the mitzvah. There's no place to minyan mitzvahs. He using this to define the mitzvah. It's a specific set of chatoim and a specific type of korban. And that defines the mitzvah. Now, So, and we said again that the korban here, especially in Oshim Toli, v'yechupaloi. Here I have a problem, v'yechupaloi. And I don't understand it 100%. The Rambam Mishnah Torah, usually, at least the way, you would have assumed the Rambam Mishnah Torah is sharpening, that's the chuvas in the Rambam, that Kilu, the pre-Eitz Hoda from the Rambam's works is the Mishnah Torah. So it's sharpening all the ideas. So comes the Rambam Mishnah Torah, it says something which is absolutely incredulous. The Rambam says, when he's talking about the mitzvah of Osham Vadai, or I think he is, or whatever it is, we'll see, includes Osham Nazir and Osham Mitzvah. And if you don't believe me, here it is. Hilchos Shkogis, Perek Tes Halacha Aleph. Al Chomesh Averes Mevi Korban Osham. Vuhu Hanikra Osham Vadei. Oh, das ist das. And the Averes, and the Chiv is Machmas Averes. Shahari Eino Bo Mishum Sofik. That's why it's called Vadai, because it's not Bo Mishum Sofik. Okay, we say that. V'elu Hein. Al Shif Chalufa, V'al Gezel, V'al Mi'ila, V'al Tumas Nozir, V'al Tzoras, Keshitoy Mimenu. Tumas Nozir, V'Tzoras, Keshitoy Mimenu. So, if he's calling it, and Hilchos Shkogos in general, we have to understand, Mishnah Torah is organized according to Minyan HaMitzvos, and the Rambam clearly said in the Akdama to Sefer HaMitzvos that the reason why he's writing Sefer HaMitzvos is to have the mitzvahs and to use the mitzvahs to organize Mishnah Torah and to make sure that he has a Sefer which is clearly called Dinei Torah. Okay. So he organizes Hilchos Shkogos, and he talks about the mitzvah of Chatas Kavua and the mitzvah from Osham Tolui, the mitzvah of Osham Vadai. Okay. So he's talking about the mitzvah. So anyone would have put the Osham Vadai of the Osham Mitzvah and the Osham Nazir on this list. So let's continue. So it me. Al Tumas Nazir, V'al Tzoras Keshitayim Mimenu. So if this is correct, there's like an amazing thing happening over here. That the Rambam Mishnah Torah, when I bring the Osham, which is part of the Korban Tumah from Nazir, or I bring the Osham, which is part of the Taira from Tzoras, there's two kiyumim. There's the kiyum of the Kabbalas Nazir, wherever you're going to put them. We'll see later on in Mitzvah Ayin Zayin, Mitzvah Say Ayin Zayin, and there's the kiyum of the Kabbalas in the kiyum of the korbanos of Nazir and Mitzvah, you'll find them in Ayin Zayin and Kuf Yud Aleph. And besides that, there's the kiyum of Osham Vadai, because this Osham is not only to metayer or to bring about to the Naziris Tahara, or to Metayah the Mitzvah in Ayin Zayin on Kuf Yud Aleph, the Korbanos Nazir, but it's also a Korban al Chet. And the true mitzvahs would bring in this Korban al Shulchan. So we say this amazing thing. and I don't have any other way of reading. I wouldn't like to say this, but al chamesh aviros maybe korban osham v'hu hanikro sham vadai. So what's he calling osham vadai? Shaharei enoi bo mishum safek. It's a very strange explanation. Eno bo mishum safek. So maybe this is osham vadai. Say say. Frankly, I can't tell you. If someone would have asked me, there is smicha by Oshem Nazir and Oshem Mitzera, and I was not aware that it's a smicha with a vidui of Oshamnu, Chatanu, Poshanu. Say the Rambam. This would not fit into the Rambam's frame of reference in Akdoma to Kochim, where he puts the Korbanos Mitzera and the Korbanos Nazir. He doesn't quote them B'chlal Su Korbanos Haboim Al Chet, but he puts them in the Korbanos which are Bo Al Mikul Mesuyim. And in the Protei Mitzvah in Hochshkogis, the Rambam says, Sheyakriv hachete osham alaveros yeduos v'zeh hanikro osham vades. I would have said the averos yeduos. It's not. I don't know the osham mitzera the chena elchin when he brings mitzaras. What comes with mitzaras? That's averos yeduos. I mean, you could have talked about maybe Nazir, Tomei, Ches. That he's nitma b'meis, but even if it's pissam, okay, but say that. Now, more than that, there's one Gemara after the next. I'm going to go very fast over because it's not my point to deal with this. Yom Gemara Zvochim, Tzadi Yom Beis, Masnisa Kol HaChator Shebatera Koidmois LaAshomois. Chatus precedes Osham. Chutz me Osham Mitzera. Mipnei shuhu bol ala hechsher. What do you mean bol ala hechsher? According to Rambam, there's also a kapara. And the Rambam Pirush Mishnayis over there in Zvachim, in Perigud Mishnehei, v'yin lahachshir shu machshir esodom umashlim taharosai. V'hu amo yis'ale v'loch hakoyim v'chulem. And that's what he passes it to even Musafim. B'chol chator shebatera, koid mechol hashomois, chutz me'ashem mitzeir, the Rambam Mishneh Teira, mipnei shu bo al yedei hechsher. Now, there are other places, it's not only a single thing that I found, the Gemara in Zvachim, and the Rambam Pirush Mishnayis, and the Rambam Tumnusofim. Let's try a few more. The Gemara Menachos, Tzadi Aleph and Aleph. Oila zu oilas mitzera. Zebach zu chatas mitzera. Oila zebach zu asham mitzera. Okay? B'teipiklei tavayu. B'teipiklei tavayu mizebach. The Omar Chatas vi Osham Minayin Tamaloi Mazebach Hani Mil Hecha Tavail Keadodi Dinu Abel Hecha the Osham Lahachir Bechatas Lachapir being in Trekroi. And that's what Rashi says. That's what Nazir Mitzera, that it's only Lahachir. That's the Gemara. So we have the Gemara in Zvachim, and the Gemara Menachos, and the Gemara in Shavuos. The Gemara in Shavuos, Taf Chesam and Aleph. Ema mitzera, Omer Aboishia, L'chol Chatosam, V'lo L'chol Tumosam, V'Reb Shmuel Bar Nachmani Diomo Al Shiva Dvorim Negoyim Boyim, Ma'ik L'Meima, Hosam Nage Diachapele, V'Korbon Le'ishtaruye B'Kol, Otot Negoyim Amachaper, but the Korbon is matir. Maybe not Mitzera, maybe Nazir. Ve'ema Nazir Tomei, the Cholak The might say, Teirim b'nei yoina, or maboy shel chol chatos lo chol tumosom. Urabeloza kappa diomanoze nami chaytehu ma'ekel ameima. So it's only going, the Gemara is Eilaza kappa. And Rashi said, there's Rashi in the Ramban Chumash, maybe you could see in Ramban Chumash that there is such a thing that it's Bo'al Chet, the Ramban Chumash in Vayikra, Yudalad Yudches, and the Bamidbar Vov Yudalad, but that doesn't bother me. Because the Ramban in general, in Chumash, has two approaches. He sometimes quotes Derech HaBaseinu, and other times he quotes Derech HaPshat. What the issue is we spoke about once, but whatever it is, you can't ask Hashem, the Rambans from the Gemaras, on what he calls Derech HaPshat, that there might be an element of Chapor in the Korban. But the Ram in Minyan HaMitzvos, to quote this, in Mishnah Torah, it's a Pella. Okay, let's go on. Here's interesting. Just the Seder over here is amazing. V'chatoim she's chayiv aleim zeh hakorban heim hami'ila v'agzela ubo al shifcha charufa v'nishpa lasheker al shvuas epikodem. So just before we start, there's an amazing thing going on over here, just in terms of the Seder, because I would have put Gzela together with Nishba Shvuas Epikodem, because the Maisa Gzela is not Machayiv, it's together with the Shvuah, and the Shvuas Epikodem is also the same thing. And the Rambam uses Shif Chalufa, Kilu Gzela, Shif Chalufa, the Nishba Lasheka Al Shvuas Epikodem. B'zeh shekol mi shemar b'shgoga v'hu shiene b'shava puta min ha'hektish bein hektish berek abayis bein hektish mizbeach. Oh, mi shegozo chaveiroi shava puta o yoser b'nishba. He mentioned the shvur. Oh, mi shebo al shib charufa bein b'shegi bein b'mezid. Oh. Well, the question is whether that's there or it's only at the end. It goes on both. O mi she kofa bikoda v'nishma bein b'shegi bein b'mezid. Hine hu chayva olav sheyakiv korban achatosa. The eno korban chatos. The omnum, so the Arabic says the omnum should be om in kapach ella hu osha. Okay. V'zeh korban nikol osha vade. So the Rambam commits kilu the sin twice. He splits Shif Charufa between Gzela and Shvuas Epikodem twice when he's talking about it. So you would expect that this is real. The question is, what is it? So let me say like this. You could make a case, and I'll explain to you what the case is, and then I'll show you how you can prove it. The question is, what's the machayiv of the Oshim Tolui? Is it the Shvur Sheker? Or it's the Maisa Aveira of Gizela and Oishek? But the Shvur is only Tznai in the Chiyuv. There's a lav in the Torah los shakro, which is shvur sheker, and there's a lav of gzela and oshek, lo sigzol v'lo sashik. So here, you could make a case in Minyan HaMitzvos that the lav of lo sigzol and lo sashik are the machayiv. So once you do that, and I'll show you the case you can make, you can say that like Sigzal and like Sashek are two separate Averis in Minyan HaMitzvos, two separate in Yonei HaTorah, otherwise they would not have been separate mitzvahs, separate as always. And since they're separate Mechayvim, so Memela, you don't look at it as one Mechayiv, you look at it as a Mechayiv for like Sashek, and you look at it as a Mechayiv for like Sigzal. The Rambam Look at Loisase Reish Mem Zayin. Loisase Reish Mem Zayin. He shehis hilnu mehachzik bima sheetzleinu be'en she's chayav mebo. It's some type of mashkin. Kodoin ushlo la'akivoisoi v'loi nasnu, and not to give it back. V'omroi yis'ale loisashek esreach. Now here's the important part. Listen to what he did over here. And he says, Ishek. Och die Avere vom Ishek, or the Divlois Ashek, Dinoi, the Din Hagazlin Shover. There's an equation, the Chiyuv, what the Avere from the Lava Ashek, and the Avere from what the Lava Sigil Mechayev, there's an equation. But it's the Avera. That's why he puts it over here in the Minyan HaMitzvos in the Lavale Sashek. And he says it very explicitly. What is Machayim? What's under the Lavale Sashek? Oma Yis'ale, V'chichesh ba'amisai, B'fikodoin, Oy B'sumes Yod, Oy B'gozel, O Oshak es amisai. So it means V'oiva Loishek Dino V'din Hagazlin Shova, or the Lavale Sashek, and the Lavale Sigzol Machayim. And I would assume that the Shvu is only tonight. And that would very nicely explain why the Rambam splits the two, and that's the Taimei in Sefer HaMitzvos and the Minyan HaMitzvos. The problem only is that in Diktukim here, there's a little problem. Because of Hagzela, okay, why would he say it? V'hagzela v'chule v'nishpa lashek ala pikodon. You get the impression reading it that the machayev or that the shvuas apikodon is the problem of shvuas sheker, and in Gzela the problem is the mais Gzela, and that l'chera is offhand impossible. Either you come to the conclusion that the shvuah is a t'nai, and the ma'aseh avera is machayv, the ma'aseh avera lo sigzol and lo shasok is a machayv, or you flip it and the avera lo sishakru and the shvuah sheker is machayv. But the way he cans it over here is like an amazing thing. You get the impression you should mechalik gufa between gzela, that the gzela is mechayev, and in loisashak the shvuah is mechayev. That's very odd. This, I think, is a somewhat of a reasonable analysis of what's going on in Sefer HaMitzvos. In Mishnah Torah, however, the Ram says, and seems to say that Gzela and Shvuas Apikodan is one Machayev. Not the impression you get in Minyan HaMitzvos. The Ram in Hushkogis, Perik Aleph, Halacha Aleph, and Zayin, Al Chomesh Averis may be Korban Oshu. Remember this, we read this before, Nikra, Oshu Vadi, Shari Eino Bo, Mishum Sof, Ve'elohein, Al Shifcha Rufa, Ve'al Gezel, Ve'al Amila, Ve'al Tumas Nazir, Ve'al Tzarashi, Taimimena. So Gezel is what? Sagt der Rambam Halacha Zayin, Al Gezel Ketzad, Mi sheyesh biodo, mi shova puto maila, mi momen Yisrael, bein she gozloi, bein she godvoi, bein she hefkidei etzloi, el hiliv oi hilvail, oi mishum shutvis, oi mishal drochim, v'kofa aboi v'nishpa, l'sheke bein bezoda bein bishkoga oi ze mei v'osham al chato, v'zeh hanikra Hashem v'zelis. Whatever, okay, say that. So it's very clear that I would have said the mechayiv is v'kofa boy v'nishba la sheker bein bezoda bein bishkoga and the Zod and the Shkoga going on the Shvuah, I would assume that the Mechayiv is the Shvuah Sheker. You want to tell me not like that? I could also live with it, okay? But whatever it is, it's very clear in Mishnah Torah that it's one Mechayiv. Next, you also find the same thing in Pirush Mishnah. It's amazing. Pirush Mishnah is written before Sefer HaMitzvos. Mishnah Torah is written afterwards, and you find that it's one Mechayiv in both of them. In the Akdoma to Zvochim, the Ram writes the following in the Pirush Mishnah: V'chein Shvuas Eidos u'Shvuas Epikodon Chayiv Korban Nishbal HaSheker Bein Sho Yeshoyi Oimezid Kmo Shnivaya B'Shen Lekris V'chulei V'Korban Shechayiv Al Shvuas HaPikodon V'hu Im Kofa B'Pikodon V'Nishbal Kach LaSheker Hu El Osham Im V'chein Im Gozal V'Nishbal HaSheker. So it's the Nishbal HaSheker. Ocean is Chayiv L'mi. But the case is different. One's on Bikodon and one's on L'Gzela. But it's Nishbal HaSheker. I would assume it's the same. You want to tell me it's differently. You want to tell me it's different. But L'Chera, the Mechayiv is the Shvuah HaSheker, I would assume. Shenischayim Mishnischayim Mo Meshuto Baveda Shemotzaloi O Migzela Shegozel Anor B'Chulei B'Kop B'Eisam Omoin B'Kop B'Hutolov L'Shalmo Mi Echor Afanim Alov V'Nishbal Kach Harizeh Chayiv El Osham. And then he says, Eilaheim, kol hakamuna she's chayiv hayochid im osa avera, b'ma'aseh o b'dibur. And l'chayr here is referring to the dibur, it's like the shvuah. No, that's what we have. Let's continue. Now, then he says, Oma b'mi'ila v'chota b'shkoga b'kotche Hashem v'hevi es Hashem al Hashem el tomim v'chulei v'om v'chichesh v'amisa v'kodem v'nishbal sheker v'goyme es Hashem yovi Hashem el tomim v'oma v'ish ki yishkav es isha shichvazera v'ish shicha necher v'ish v'hevi es Hashem v'kal esboy mishpat mizu I'm just telling you something. I'm not getting involved in this. The Gemara clearly says that the Asham Nazir and Mitzera is not the same age as the regular Asham Vada. You know, well, that should be enough to make it not an Asham Vada, not, I don't know. Because the Rambam says we change the behemoth, doesn't make a difference. I'm not sure the year. So I'm not sure you should take that into account at all. Okay. Mitzvah Ayin Beis. Mitzvah Ayin Beis. HaMitzvah Ashtayim V'Shivim. Hi shetzivonu shenakriv korban oile v'yored. Al chatoyim yuchodim. That's the same with Sionim. Gam Kain, this Gam Kain, I don't know where it came from, because there's no, you don't find this in Kapach. I'm not sure that the Arabic would support this. I'm not sure what it means exactly. I can imagine you could have said that the Gam Kain, if it's true, that not only the Osham Vadai is a Chatoim Yeduyim, but the Korban Oil of Yerid is also like that. Okay. V'achatoim she's chayav aleim ze hakorban heim tumas mikdosh v'tumas kadashah u'shvuas bitui u'shvuas ho'edus. Korban oil of yered is different from the chatos kavua. Okay, you see, you have something like this. This is korban oil of yered. So the question is, why is it a separate mitzvah? Okay. So a priori, you could have come and said one of two ways, and maybe, we don't know which way is the correct way. Maybe it's both of them. You see, the Korban Oile V'Yere, the Ram goes out of his way in Mitzvah Samach Tes, and he says, Chatos is Kavur. It's always a behemoth. Korban Oile V'Yere, the Korban changes. So that's one way of making it not the same min korban, okay? The second way of doing it, it's different averes, because the korban chatos is on chayve krisus, and the korban oile, even though two of them are chayve krisus, but the case of Shvuas Bitui and Shvuas Edus is not Chayve Krisus. However, maybe you should say that since Yechayve, it's maybe, you see, you could have imagined that Chayve Krisus, that the two cases, the Korban Oile V'Yere, which is Chayve Krisus, maybe it should have been B'chal Chatos, because it's all the Korbanos on the same Aveh for Chayve Krisus. So I would have told you that the Chachmei HaMesera, the Matiki HaShmur, give an Edus not like that. If you recall, the Rambam proves an amazing thing from the Mishnah at the beginning of the second parak of Krisus, from Arbor Mechusei Kapora, that Zav and Zovo, the Korbanos of Zav and Zovo, two separate mitzvahs, because the Matiki HaShmur call them Zav and Zovo in the Mishnah, and Mitzera is not listed as Mitzera and Mitzeras, so it's all the same. So in the Mishnah B'nei Krisus, when it talks about the various korbanos of the Chatos Kavur and the Korban Oile V'Yere, you would also got the impression that it's a different Chetz of Korban. And so much so that the Mishnah says, and Mishnah Beis, that there's a Chiyuv, Oshem Toli, if you're Mechuyev Chatos Kavur. Even in Bias Mikdash Kedusha, is in Tumas Mikdash Kedusha, there's no Oshem Tolu. It's a different Chetz of Korban, different Chetz of Chiyuv. It happens to be a Chayav Krisus, and that's how the Rambam lists them as Abonis Misuyam Makorban Misuyim called Korban Oile. Now, let me just continue over here. Now, again, Korban Oile V'Yere is a Korban which is Bo and Chet, which is a Chetzer Mechaper, because the Rambam in Mishnah Ayin Gimel, even though he doesn't talk about the Kapara over here, he just says, Even Nichla Mikdash, V'zui Tumas Mikdash, O Shachal Bosa Kodesh, V'shkoga, Hu Tumas Kadosh, Tumas Kadosh, O Zidishva, Shvuas Bitui, V'Obal, V'shkoga, Zidishva Sheka, Shvuas Edis, Baby Shoy Bailey, Hine Hu, Yaakov al Zeh Maise, Ve'ela Korban, Korban Oile, Nikol Korban Oile V'Yere. Om Yisrael Yisech, V'shom Kol, Oy Nefesh Kisiga, B'chul. So Yodai, because it changes. Well, it's a Hamachaper, correct? That's what the Rambam says in Ayin Gimel. All these korbanos before are Machaper. See here again, the Rambam and Mishnah Torah does an amazing thing. If I were to ask you how many korbanos oil there are, and you're looking over here and knowing this, you have a very simple answer. You can either say 3 or 4. You can want to count Tumas Mikdash Kedoshav as 1, or Tumas Mikdash, Tumas Kedoshav as 2. And you have the you have the Shavuos Bitui and the Shavuos Eidus. Okay? So you have 3 or 4. Comes the Rambam in Mishnah Torah and says you have 6. 6, not 4. And Hilchos Shkogis, L'cheira, which he's talking about the mitzvah of Korban Oliviyere. So because the Seder Mishnah Torah Hilchos Shkogis is there are these mitzvahs, and this is Biur, and he says in the beginning. So he opens up Perek Yud of Hilchos Shkogis, and he says, Shisha mitzvoson shakrivu Korban Oliviyere v'eluhein. HaMitzvos v'hayoledes v'hanishba l'shvuos eidus bein bezodem bein b'shkoga v'hanishba shvuos bitui l'sheker b'shkoga v'atomish ochol koilish b'shkoga v'atomish niklas mikdash b'shkoga. An amazing thing, that the Korban Oliviyere, the same way the Rambam expanded that the Osham Badai in Mishnah Torah, he has expanded the Korban Oliviyere. Comes the Rambam and says like this. It's an amazing thing. But he doesn't do what he did by Osham Badai. In Osham Badai, he lists a list of 6 Averis. And he says they are Averis. They're Bo Machmas Avera. Here he doesn't say that. He just says there are 6 instances where you be a Korban Oliviyere. He doesn't explicitly say that the Korban Oliviyere of Yoledes and Mitzvah is B'shum Chet. The question is, the Korban Yoledes and the Korban Mitzvah are separate mitzvahs. Steht in Rambam, the Rambam in, not only you find the next mitzvahs coming up in Protei HaMitzvos in Hilchos Mechusei Kapora, Yesh Bichlolon Arba Mitzvahs Aseh, V'zehu Pirton, Beis Shetakiv HaYoledes Kishetitay HaKorban, Daled Sheyakiv Mitzvah Kishetitay HaKorban, V'yach Sheyach Korban Osei Tigmo Tigomer Taharoson. So is it possible that the Rambam is doing the same type of thing, and that the 2 kiyumim in the korban in the korban of Mitzvah and the korban of Yoledes, there's a kiyum of Mechusei Kapora, and there's a kiyum of a korban called Korban Oliviyere, but then if you do that, you have to redefine things. Because if you recall, this group of 4 korbanos are korbanos shebo al achet. As the Rambam says, Yudalid, it is chal for achet. So, when he introduced The Oshem Vadai said chet. How it squares in the Gemara, I don't understand. But he says it's chet. But when it comes to Korban Oliviered, Mitzera, and Yoledes, he doesn't even say that it's chet. So if it's not chet, I can imagine, and it's an amazing thing because there's two separate parshas in the Torah. There's a parsha at the end of Vayikra that talk a parsha in the Vayikra, the Korban Oliviered, and there's three possibilities. There's Dallas and Dallas, and both the Mitzera and the Yoledes is only Dallas. But since there's this concept called Korban Oliviered, then it goes on the Fikah, which is the Rambam Shvi, which he has defined in any instantation of a mitzvah, Korban Oliviered, of what's Korban Oliviered Chatos, is all one mitzvah. That's what he and the Psadi Goy disagrees with this. In Perich Chavav of the newly published Psadi Goy. Okay, very nice. But are we ready to redefine Korban Oliviered? And that has nothing to do with chet per se, but it's just a min korban, which is oliviered, and is a kiyum of that korban when you bring a yoledes and a mitzera. That to me is absolutely amazing. But that's what he seems to be saying in Mishnah Torah. It normally, you expect, I don't understand why he did this in Perek Tes and Perek Yud of Hilchos Shkogos, both in terms of Oshem Vadai and in terms of Korban Oliviered. I'm just telling you over the facts of what's happening. Now, he just said over here before, in Ayin Beis, he says, Kmo v'zeh kimi shenitma be'av hatuma, be'av min ovis hatuma, kmo shadanu, hodanu, or kovanu, as Kapach said, be'psichas sedetaris, akdoma sechad, whatever you want to call it. And that the Ram clearly says in Pirush Mishnah and Akdoma the Tairis, v'odem levadai metame kishu chai, u'mistame kishu chai. Betumas sheyoboy tiuram. Vuhu shechelke atumois kefi shenemu b'kosu batera acharos chalokim. He has 11 types of tumois, categories, which a person can be nitva by. Tumas sheretz, tumas nevela, tumas mes, tumas shichvazera, betumas mechatos, betumas achatos, the tumas zov, betumas zovo, betumas nida, betumas yoledes, betumas saras. Umin atumas halolu, tumois sheyesh behen ovis halbe. And then he goes on, mehen sheyeh behem rak obecha v'zel piyut. And he goes and explains, that's what he means, that he explains this in Seder Ta'alos. Seder. Okay. Now, we're finished with this. We have the korbanos, which are bo l'cheira l'chaper. And then mechaper, the min korban, which is bo l'chaper aver yedur, which the Rambam has become a knight in shining armor, and there's mechadish new types of mitzvahs, depends upon the min. Now, we're going to get started. We're not going to finish this. I can tell you. The mitzvah, even if I just read it through, I don't know if we finish it. The mitzvah of vidui. Mitzvah ayin gimel. Ba mitzvah hasholosh v'shivim he shetzivonu l'hisvadois al havonis v'chatoim. I'm not sure, I don't understand this 100%, where he got avonis v'chatoim, because there's one Arabic word, as I understand it, for chatoim, the same one that he uses in general. I'm not sure why the translator translated avonis chatoim. Shechotonu lefonav yis'ala b'dibur. Okay. Come back to me. So just let me explain the sentence. Bedibur, okay. First of all, lefon of Yis'aleh, we have to understand what it means. There's a separate Indian of Vidui that you're before God. It's very metaphysical and it's mystical, whatever. But we have to understand what he's saying. Okay. Then it says Bedibur. This I understand, and this is the Rambam has not only said it here, clearly says this in Shurish Chi'i, when he lists in Shurish Chi'i that there are many different types of mitzvahs. And he says there's a mitzvah which you require dibur. And he says like this, V'tzivonu loymar ma amar min ha'ma'amorim. K'moi ma shetzivonu l'shapchoi u'lehispalel elov. Okay, let's see what that is. I'm not getting involved in that. L'spalel means tefillah requires dibur, and that's a definition of what type of mitzvah it is. It's not meditation. Ulehisvadeis al havoinos ve'al hapshoyim v'adomer lezeh mimashi izboya. Here in Shurish Mi, he says very clear in Shurish Chi that it is requires dibur, and he talks about avoinos and pshoyim. Okay, so now we understand dibur. Now here is very important. Just before the proper translation of the Arabic is be'es shenoshuv mehem. When you do tshuva, there is a time factor, and at that point you have a tzivui to be misvad. Be'es shenoshuv mehem. Okay, that's what he said. Okay, so now we just have v'zehu havidui. The mitzvah is doch the vidui. Okay. He says the kavaroso sheyoimo ono Hashem chotosi ovisi poshaiti v'chule. It could be I will mention a few options to you. Before we get started, I want to mention this Ono Hashem. Kilu, I'm having a conversation with the Rebbeinu Shalom. Ono Hashem, Chotosi Ovisi Pushaiti. Is this what he means with Lefon of Yisala? And the Rambam learned from the Nusach of the Chachmei Matiki Ashmur that it's honor of Hashem, that it's Lefon of Yisala. We'll see other options, but there's amazing thing. Like I didn't see anyone. I understand when you want to be melodramatic and man meeting God, whatever it is. But you have to when you're talking about a definition of a mitzvah, it has to be entrenched either in Torah Shebiksav or the Matiki Ashmur. So you have to say then that the Matiki Ashmur, when they said Ono Hashem, meant something. Now, let's start slowly. The first question you have to ask here, just as you're getting started, why did this mitzvah of vidui come over here? We talked in general about Seid Rambam. We went through the mitzvahs of korbanos, the mitzvah shenogei and kol korbanos, the mitzvahs of the ma'aser of different korbanos. Then somehow Pahandova came in the different types of mine korban that are boy lechaper, and all of a sudden comes vidui. So I want to tell you, as a Hagdoma, just a prelude to what's going to be a Mitzvah next week. Or that the mitzvah from Vidui in Sefer HaMitzvos is entrenched in Korban and in Kaporas Korban. And since we've mentioned the mitzvahs of Kaporas Korban, the Rambam felt that the sequel to this discussion should be Vidui. And therefore, right away, when he finishes his discussion of describing what the mitzvah is technically, he says, V'da, shafilu hachatoim shechayov maleim elu haminim me'akobonos niskolim. What are we referring to? Chatas kovua, osham tolui, osham vadai, and korban olav yod, mitzvah say samurtes, ayin aleph and ayin beis. She'oma yis'ale shemi she'akrivom niskape eloi, or otot she'oma yis'ale, otot the chefse from korban is a kapora, and that's what it is. Lo yaspikim hakrovosom bilti avidui. The kapora is dependent upon vidui. So it seems a priori that the Ram says that the vidui is the ma'akiv and kaporas hakorban. So even just at this point, it's very fitting that the mitzvah's vidui should be here as a sequel to the korbanos which are machaper. And even more so, the Rambam later on in this mitzvah does an amazing thing. He says, he quotes a Mechilta, which the Rambam, I think we mentioned this on other times, that the Mechilta in the Rambam sometimes is a Sefer Zuta, and here it is a Sefer Zuta. The Rambam says like this. He says later, Bavur shebo ze atzivui, Shuhu v'izvado im chiyuv hakorban, since the tzivui of vidui comes together in korban, with korban, shoyo'ile b'machshava, one could have imagined, shoyo'ile b'machshava she'ena vidui levado im mitzvah v'fnei atzmo. Vidui is not a separate mitzvah. Avohu me'advorim hanigroim achar korban. Remember, nigroim, this is the Arabic of chak, which is very much intertwined in it, in Teresh B'Ksav. It's not a loose attachment. It comes part and parcel, like mora together with matzah. If you remember, where the various places which I mentioned to you, the Ram quotes this chak. And maybe it should have been, as the Rambam says in Perek Yud Beis, that there's a seder of a ma'aseh of chatos and a ma'aseh of oila, or that the vidui, or the ma'aseh of osham, that the vidui should have been part of that mitzvah. Chutzerchu sheyevaru zeh mechilta bezeh haloshon yochu bezman shemevim misvadim. Maybe the mitzvah vidui is only part and parcel of korban, and it's not a separate mitzvah. That's the Ram learns the pshat. Uminayin af bizman she'ein mevin Talmud loyma daber b'nei Yisrael v'isvada. It's a separate ribui that there's a vidui even shloi b'shas korban, and that if you see the Rambam in Minyan HaKotzer, when he defines the mitzvah over here in Minyan HaKotzer, the Ram says that the mitzvah is b'shas korban and shaloi b'shas korban. That's what he says. You'll see this in Minyan HaKotzer here, and we'll see this later. that the mitzvah starts before it. He says the mitzvah b'shas korban and shaloi b'shas korban. We'll have to understand what this mitzvah is, what the Ram does in Mishnah Torah mitzvah. We'll pick this up next week.